Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Debating Dads podcast, brought to you by BroLitFactory.com. I'm with my man Josh,
Hey,
and I'm with my man Quincy,
What's up?
and we've been away for a while, but we have a very special topic that we think will interest a lot of the dads out there and a lot of the people connected to dads. Today's topic is dad bod or father figure. Just getting right into it.
or both.
Josh, when you hear the word dad bod, what comes to mind?
Old me.
Oh,
Big belly man, big belly man. Just out of shape person trying to feel in shape mentally, I guess.
what about you, Quincy? When you hear the word dad bod,
I would say out of shape person that people are basically just trying to glorify in a way, so that they don't feel bad about the way they look.
Some people do like it though. It's actually very
Yeah.
good for cuddling. I have to give you that.
so one of the things we're trying to talk about and unpack is better health for fathers, especially fathers who are co-parenting and trying to often do parent parts by themselves or with somebody else. But what about your own responsibilities to your health? One of the things that's become very personal to me is ever since I got divorced and separated, I've had wild fluctuations with my weight. I've lost 40 to 50 pounds and I've gained them all back. COVID certainly hasn't helped. But one of the things Josh and Quincy have been sort of helping me with is saying, are you your best self right now as a father? Or is the dad bod an excuse for men to not look after their health, right? Where we are looking at ways to improve many aspects of our lives. But if I have to look at myself, today is my first solo day back in the gym. I actually have to acknowledge that I've let my health slide. And that's kind of some of those things. Is it just about weight loss or is it about better health? What about your gut, Quincy?
I would feel it's about better health. You let yourself go sometimes, right? You start eating late because you just don't have time to keep up with a proper meal plan, with and you having this dad bod now. A dad bod doesn't necessarily have to mean that you're out of shape. You can look good and still have a dad bod, right?
This is
So,
also true.
Yeah, I mean,
'Cause
so
I like my belly,
yeah,
but I gotta get the titties up.
And Josh, for you who's lost a lot of weight this
Mhm.
year, what was your motivating factor? Like when did it start? Like, because I remember,
My motivating factor was pussy. To be honest, I actually caught myself in the mirror and I was just kind of like, who the hell is that guy? And then I stood on the scale and I was like, Jesus Christ. That's pretty bad. Like I was like 249 and I'm like, I can't hit 250. I can't. So it's a mental thing, right? Because you have to be ready to lose. You have to want to do it for yourself. Because if you're just kind of like, oh, I'll do it here, or maybe I'll do that. Because it's not just like I'm gonna go on a diet. It's a lifestyle change, right? Like you have to.
yeah, that's exactly what it is.
It's a lifestyle. There's no diet.
It's not oh, summer's coming, let me jump in the gym for a couple of weeks to get back in shape because
Yeah.
it's nice out and I want to look good for all the women out there. No,
Yeah.
it's not that. Because when the summer is done, you just go right back to where you were, but it just gets even worse, right? Because then now you feel that, I can get in shape whenever I want, so I can eat whatever I want, whatever I want, whenever I want. And then you put on like 50, 60 pounds and it's like,
I did eat whatever I wanted though. Like I went down the intermittent fasting
yeah, but see, there's an adjustment to how you eat,
road.
right?
Yeah. But
So
when I could eat, I did eat
mhm.
every fucking thing. Candies.
and how did your kids perceive
Sandwiches.
this? Like when both of you were in the process of better health, how are you being perceived by your kids?
You
Like, are
know,
they
you know what?
encouraging you?
Like my kids have never been like, oh, you're smaller, you're bigger, right? Like they haven't really said like, oh, Josh, Dad, you lost so much weight.
My daughter once
I
said I
thought
looked
they would.
pregnant.
Yeah,
So
because
I was like,
your kids are ruthless.
yeah, they was, and that was like a wake up call. She's like, Dad, you look pregnant. She's like, what? Like what?
I mean,
But you know, these wake
I get it from my parents, man. It's like, yo, your belly getting so big. I'm like, oh damn.
Mm-mm.
And that's when I just automatically start, right back into a routine. Stop eating late, drinking more water, exercising whenever I can. My job requires me to be active all the time, so I don't generally gain a lot of weight. But the belly comes, and that's
Yeah.
that's usually because of bad dieting, right? Like eating after hours, going to bed like with a full stomach. Yeah, that's one thing
I
that
used to do that
you
all the
shouldn't do,
time.
Well,
right?
I
I
think
literally used to eat and
And
go
go
to
to sleep
bed.
because I felt
Like literally, like
I felt like I
oh,
felt that I couldn't sleep without eating.
I know,
I
but it
couldn't.
feels so good
Yeah,
though.
when you go to bed hungry, like
I
your
know.
belly's like, "Argh,
Just
feed
fill, you
me."
just fill it with water. Fill it with water. That's what
and
I
just
did.
tying it for a lot of us, like a lot of us have been through like a lot of like emotional ups and downs, co-parenting with our children, like a lot of
Mhm.
emotional stress and eating. And I can say that like I eat when I'm happy, I eat when I'm sad. And so it's one of those things that you can't out exercise bad eating. And the best, you know, over a long-term period. I remember my doctor and like a health nutrition saying that um good health outcomes, like losing weight, is a byproduct of like living a healthier
Good
life,
eating. Yeah.
of good
Yeah,
eating, of
Yeah.
exercise, right? Because you can lose a lot of weight, and I have lost a lot of weight by but having these crash diets. But then the second you become like Barney Gumble and you have a little something, you're like, tap it to my
Yeah.
veins. You're like,
but
tap it to
but
my
you see
veins.
that this is where discipline is necessary.
Oh yes.
Because I mean, it's like when I stop, like, because I don't drink pop anymore. It's just mostly water that I drink, right? I cut back on
For the
on
Americans, that's soda. That's
yeah,
you know it is
soda.
soda.
So soda pop.
Yeah, so like I don't drink um as much liquor as I used to. Like I was an occasional drinker, but now it's even less. Like I don't it's gotten to the point that I really don't like the taste that much anymore. But what I notice is that when you get into this routine where you start drinking, eating at a certain hour, and then next day, you know what, I'm just gonna work out and then get rid of it, but then you don't,
Mm-hmm.
right?
To get
And
tired.
then the day after that, it's like back to eating the junk, and then you throw yourself out for your routine.
So what I do is I work on small victories.
Mhm.
I like to surround myself with candies and chocolates, and then when I don't eat them, I feel better about myself.
Right. So you want to test
It's a
yourself.
yeah, I constantly test
Like the
myself.
kids are eating them, for
Yeah,
example.
like I
And like
literally
you're a
have
kid.
candy like over there. Like right
At
there.
some point I used to do that because it's like I want to do that at like, you feel like it makes you
Yeah,
strong and
it
resistant.
does, and you have to test
Mm.
yourself because it's like, okay, I'm gonna eat this, but I can't eat this now.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'll eat this earlier in the morning or tomorrow, or like because I worked out today, I'll have that tomorrow.
That's such a good point, Josh, because I think especially as a father who doesn't see his kids all the time, every time your kids come, like there can be a notion of like, at least for me on the weekends, like, oh, let's get something else. Let's get,
Mm-hmm.
because it becomes more celebratory where other people will see their kids all the time. But when you don't see your kids all the time, you have to be even more disciplined because the desire to make it like a celebratory thing and modify it and just for me, like every weekend can be pizza or
Yeah,
fast food or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
But
And it's just so easy.
it's so easy all the
Yeah.
time, right? And I think as dads who don't always have their kids, that's something that I think a lot of people may not consider, is that like for other people, maybe once a week or twice a week is a treat. But sometimes like I know I felt pressure, like, oh, you spoil the kids a little bit.
Yeah.
And then you end up spoiling yourself, like
Yep.
because
Yep.
that's
We
what
sometimes
right?
even use it as an excuse.
Excuse to eat
I
that.
want I want some
Let's get
pizza.
the
Hey guys,
greasiest pizza I
you
can
want some
find.
pizza tonight?
Who wants a large?
Yeah.
Like,
Also fried chicken.
Get some of them
Fried
them
chicken with
jalapeno
biscuits
poppers
and
or
everything.
something.
right. And of
Stuff your
course the
face.
kids are kids, they're like, let's get it. But is that again better for your overall health? And I guess for me, are we, I'm the person that sometimes it has to hit rock bottom, and you're like, and for me, I recently went to go visit my grandfather, and he just passed away at 96, and he was so disciplined in the later years of his life because of his diabetes with sugar, and
Mhm.
and he was ruthless because he's a South Asian Pakistani grandfather, and he's like, yo, he would hit my belly like it's big now, and he'd be like, this is just too
Oh,
fat.
because that's where it starts.
That
Disease starts in your stomach,
Gut health.
right? It
Good gut
starts right
health.
there. Because once you throw off your system, you're manifesting other things that you really don't want in your body, right? So this is why eating properly is important, right?
And I think what it does for those of us who are connected to kids or parents or whatever, when we take our health seriously, I've noticed that the people in my family start eating better when I start eating better.
Yeah.
Like it just becomes a thing, because often, you know, if you're the quote unquote junk food eater,
Yep.
then it's like, oh well, he's doing it, so I can do it too. But if the junk food eater cuts it out, then everyone else can too.
Because they come to you for the junk food.
That's right. It's like that show.
Junk
It's like
food dealer.
it's
Yeah,
like
you're
you are
you're
the
the plug,
You
you know?
you are the weakest link.
Yeah.
And then I think
I'm the
there's
candy guy.
and there's other external catalysts that I think we need. It's internal, but I think some things, like I recently opened up Instagram and someone showed me that a woman who I was in a relationship with just got engaged this year,
Mhm.
right? And I was like, at the time, like one of the things she was talking about was better health, and I felt like I was working out for her. It started some good habits, but I realized what will sustain me is working out for me, right? Because
Like I said, you
do
have
it
to do it for yourself.
for yourself.
I did it for myself plus my kids, because I'm like, listen, if I'm this fat now, I'm only gonna get older. My knees are hurting. How am I gonna play with my kids
But
when I'm older or
the
when
thing
they're
is-
older? Do you know what I mean?
the thing is, you can reach a point of no return, right? And then you
Yeah,
just,
doctors like you have diabetes, you have type like
Yup.
diabetes,
and
right?
then
Like
you're
heart
wondering, like,
disease.
why didn't I do this before? Why didn't I? You know, it's, you don't want to let it get
And
to that
every
point,
year you
right?
add on, like we're all, like either 40 or approaching 40. It's so much harder than when you're in 20s, your 30s to lose that weight, to do the things for
Yeah.
the body to recover.
You know,
I had to stretch so much at the gym today.
Yeah, it's also because you're scared of the weights.
it's good to wait. I probably spent 6 months trying to get rid of my lower back pain, right? I had to try off weight, and then work on strengthening my glutes, my midsection. Because when all these muscles are strong, right? When they're all in, when you get all your muscles in shape, it helps support your spine, right? And it relieves a lot of the tension that's there. So that's why keeping yourself in shape, it's better for your overall health, right? In terms of being active, it's just more beneficial than to just walk around out of shape. Yeah, you know what? I have a dad bod, and you know, girls like it, but okay, the girls like it, but
Speaking of women, okay, let's ask, how is being in better health affected your sex lives?
It's great.
more stamina.
You have more stamina. You have more back stamina.
Your boner is harder.
Yep. Because you get that better circulation.
I,
And you get more compliments. Honestly, bro, like I didn't notice
And guess what?
how what
You look better in the moonlight. Man.
and then
it's the gun show. It's the gun show.
You guys don't know. That's this guy. But it's funny. It's weird because like going from being a bigger person and always being a big man, yo big man, like to like people like saying like, hey, you're slim. I'm like,
He's
I'm
smaller
not,
than you now.
I'm not slim, because I still had this, like I still have it, like you still have this fat guy or fat person complex in your head, like you still see the fat, you're like, oh my god, it's so fat, but then
Other people.
you have someone else saying, hey,
Yeah,
you're
you used
looking a
to
lot
look
of weight, and I'm
you
like,
used to look
what?
like Super Mario in your work overall.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then you actually start looking at yourself in pictures, and you're just like, oh, is that me? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And now
and at this
modeling
point,
on the
he's-
freaking interview and an Instagram and
yeah,
shit. Like,
he's
it's
smaller
crazy.
than me right now.
Yeah,
Am I smaller than
Yeah,
you?
you are smaller than me.
and I think
But his guns
Yeah,
aren't
you got
that
bigger
small,
guns,
though.
but you're small.
I think for men, especially at this stage of
Mine
our
are more
lives,
cut,
where
so,
these little compliments do, like when you walk into a room and you're looking like $1 million, like
Yeah.
you feel better.
You feel better, yeah.
You carry yourself higher. People,
You get compliments.
and
like,
it does
oh,
make me look at the last several years where, like, even like I remember like one time, like I went to pick up my kids and my ex is like, you look good. And I never thought about it that way, right? Because it's like, and now I'm like,
yeah, I got that too.
right, and I'm like and you just realize that you do it for yourself, and just like losing the weight is a byproduct,
Mhm.
being treated better, having better health, like better relationships, even in terms of like your sex life with your new partners. One of the things a lot of people struggle with, at least I did in my
Even
pregnancy.
sometimes with your old partners,
Yeah.
because then they want to come back to you and be like, "Oh, you're looking good."
Get outta here.
We don't recommend that if you have a new partner.
Yeah, obviously.
But yes, it can happen. You can
But if you don't have a new partner and your ex does want to come back because you're looking good, give it all one work and then send her on her way,
If it's worth it.
or on his way, or it can rekindle and you guys can get back together and have a great life.
or it can remind you of the fact that when you were in that relationship the last time, maybe you didn't take your physical health as important, and it affected intimacy, it affected health, and that could even have eroded the relationship.
Would you say that happened?
I 100% happened for both partners.
Because listen,
Yeah.
you're saying that I think that like when you have more weight, more fat, you have less testosterone, I think that's how it is.
I had a lot of testosterone.
Yeah, something like that. Oh, what's the other one? What's the other hormone that
Estrogen?
pheromones or something?
Oh, you're
No,
no,
you have more estrogen or something like that. I forgot what it was, but
I don't know. What would you?
it having the extra weight affects your hormones as well, right?
I don't know, bro.
Hmm?
Maybe that's just like maybe if you're obese, then maybe. But
Oh, yeah,
like,
no,
was-
I gotta pull it up.
I
and
never
then,
had an issue.
Well, not everybody's gonna have, because you're hairy as fuck, yo. So it means you have a lot of testosterone.
You
Man.
can call me a bear.
You are a bear.
That's
Yeah.
true.
No, you're a skinny bear.
But it's soft though. I don't shave it.
yeah, yeah.
It's nice.
That's the thing.
Still
Like,
losing the hair department to me.
Hmm?
Number one.
Bro, you can have it.
Brown
I
people
don't-
just,
I don't.
we
I
just-
don't. I don't need my hair creeping out of my shirt. Like, hey,
you can shave
check
and make
me
a
out.
pillow. Yeah.
Let me out of here.
You can shave and make a pillow.
Yeah, well, the only place it doesn't go, the only place it doesn't grow is obviously on top of my head.
It could be a nodder down.
You know what you do? Get some that glue, that roller, that glue. Yeah. Shave your chest.
You know what? My goal is to look like Jason Statham. Okay, he's bald and he's kicking ass all over.
Yeah, but you don't do kung fu.
Well, I'll
You
just
gotta have
pretend.
that 6-pack first. And then
Well,
Yeah.
okay, let's not be unrealistic here, which is a huge
Listen,
point.
that is not unrealistic.
You can draw it on.
You know,
So
that is not unrealistic. If
So-
you really want to
That is
get like
true.
that,
So this is
you
true.
can
So
do
that
it.
is
so
true.
that's the point. They're like getting in good shape, like aspects of being a father or is a job. I think like health is actually a job you have to commit to.
No, it's not really a job, man. It's
not a
a
job.
lifestyle. You have to change the way you like, bro. Like you just have to change the way you eat, right? It's simple. We started
It's
something.
a choice
we
that you have
didn't-
to make, man.
One of us didn't follow through with what we said. I'm just saying, one of us. But it's simple things. Like all I did, bro, literally, I just stopped eating after 8 o'clock.
Mhm.
That's it. And I started eating at 12 p.m. And all you do is just drink water from then till then. And you will have I lost 30 pounds doing that. I ate candies, chicken sandwiches, anything I wanted
Discipline.
in between that time. And I just gorged myself before 8 and just drank water. 30 pounds gone. Doesn't mean everyone's going to lose 30 pounds, but if you're not eating before you go to bed, you have enough time for your food to digest
Mhm.
and your body to burn it.
But on top of
good.
it, you were also working out.
No,
Not yet. That
at
was
that time,
before
I
you
was like,
started. At that
because I
time?
said, I don't want to work out,
Mm.
but I don't want to stop eating. So I said, how do I find a solution? Let me try this. All I got to do is just stop eating between this time and this time.
Mm.
And I ate whatever I wanted. Didn't work out at all.
So you don't have to do any strenuous workouts or anything at
Yeah.
all.
You should
But
make
as long as if you
some
eat
changes.
right, you will go to your natural weight.
Yeah.
Right.
And even if you were to say do the intermittent fasting and eat proper, then it's even better.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just little changes.
So that's a good point that Josh brought up. A lot of people, myself included, think about the task is too overwhelming. Oh my God, I'm so fat. Oh my God, how much? But it's the small victories along the way
victories
that can help us climb the mountain. So, for example, today was the first time going into the gym by myself. And just those 30 minutes actually felt great. Like I felt better as a human being. And even when I came back to sit at my desk again, I felt I had more energy than I did in other days,
Yeah,
because
you feel good.
I felt, and I
Mhm.
realized like even doing work on the keyboard, I was like, oh, I actually feel different.
Yeah,
And I
because
think
it's
that
I don't know what I don't know what
It's your blood flow, man. All that
it's, but
shit.
it
Like
produces
your
something.
hormones,
Is it
your
I think
endorphins?
it's I think
endorphins, everything.
Yeah.
It releases a lot of
we'll
endorphins.
fact
Right?
check that, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's just, and I think, and also just the feeling, especially in COVID, I work, like everyone works differently. For a lot of us keyboard warriors out there,
Yeah.
we're just sitting behind keyboards all day in our places, and getting out into a space, even if you forget a gym, even just going for a walk,
For a walk.
or a jog, or just doing something, I realize it does something for your mental health
But
as
like,
well.
how do you feel after you've left the gym?
I feel great.
Like you felt like you've
You
done
accomplished
something,
Yeah,
something,
right?
right?
Yeah.
and again, little things. So just for those of us who have knee problems or heavier weight, I was introduced by these fellows to the elliptical.
Yeah.
And I used to
Great.
like run a lot, and I used to hurt my knees. But the elliptical, especially, like I've been carrying a lot of weight, actually made me feel really good. And you just feel like, okay, I actually feel a bit better. And then you feel I have a foothold.
Yeah.
Let's, like, tomorrow, let's just do it again.
Exactly.
Right? Let's just do it again. And then when I came, and I'll give you a good example. When you start, sometimes for me, the exercising starts the good eating. That's how my system works.
Mhm.
So when I finish exercising, I'm like, yeah, but if you go and you have junk, you just offset all
You
that.
feel like
So I went and grabbed
Little
like
guilt.
like a full like chicken with salad, right? And I
Mhm.
was just like, because your plate should reflect the work you put in, because you don't want to look, you don't want to undo all that
you
stuff.
don't want to waste the time. that you
Yes, I
spent,
think you don't want
right?
to waste the time.
I actually looked this up, right? Where it says obesity lowers testosterone levels.
There it is.
For example, a 2007 study of 1,667 men ages 40 and above found that each 1 point increase in BMI
Body mass
was
index.
body mass index was associated with a 2% decrease in testosterone.
Jesus Christ.
Superstar. So that, I mean, the science backs it up, but I think we can have all the data in the world, but we have to find, I think, the thing for the long term. Like, so when we're 50, when we're 60, inshallah, God willing, that happens. And I think at the end of the day, my mom would say this to me. She goes, do you want to be there for your kids? Or
Exactly.
do you
Yeah,
not want to
exactly.
be there for your children?
Yeah. You got to find something that pushes you and makes you want to do it. Whether it's yourself, it's your kids, it's your family, like who knows?
I mean, I'm sure when you grow old, you don't want to be confined to a bed or a
That's
chair,
true.
right? You want to be able to move around and still do whatever you want to do, right? I mean, people grow old, and then there's some people that don't believe in working out, right?
So
Like,
on that, so is the notion of the dad bod actually harming dads, in your opinion?
it depends on their mindset, right? It really depends on their mindset. If someone that's out of shape, um, you know, if you tell them that, okay, well, there's nothing wrong with your body, you're good the way you are, and whatever, and he's unhealthy, right? And he just begins to feel that, what, I'm okay. I should just continue doing what I'm doing.
Mhm.
Then he'll just, it'll just get worse for him, right?
It's
But-
bad on your back, man.
Yeah,
Like,
it
it's
is.
really
So-
bad. Like I've had bad back injuries, and since then, which was in like 2002,
Mhm.
God rest his soul, my doctor would always be like, you gotta tighten your core, you gotta strengthen your core,
Yeah.
strengthen your core, strengthen your core. And never did. And my back was just shit.
But a lot of people
And now
walk
it's
around
better,
with a
a
lot of
lot
back
better.
pain. A
Yeah.
lot of people have back pain, and this is because they are out of shape,
Mhm.
right? I mean, as soon as I started doing glute workouts, I'm telling you, it worked
Them
worked
glutes.
wonders for my back.
Well,
Gotta work them glutes.
and that's why I asked the question, because I actually think what the dad bod concept has been, and like, yes, I do believe some people find that attractive and whatnot, but a lot of men also want the women that they're in, like partnership situations, they want them to look the best.
Yes.
Right. But then if you're carrying and you're not trying to achieve your best because the culture allows it, I think you're also selling yourself short, because if you can be in better shape, but like you're like, oh, I got a dad bod, it's hot.
It's funny though. Like there's like there's sometimes you see those fit hot girls with those guys that are dad bods. You're just like, what the hell? So
Yeah.
it's just like maybe those are like the unicorns or the one-offs. But I find when you see fit people, they're usually with other fit people.
And it's a super
Yeah.
sensitive area
Because
because
the lifestyle.
it's
Right?
Yeah.
a super sensitive area
yeah.
because listen, people have many reasons for being overweight. There's genetics, and there is a huge culture of fat shaming people.
Yeah, yeah.
I think listen, people are bullied about their weight immensely, and I don't think that is necessarily the way to go. But I
Nah.
also think that if you are like clinically obese and like
Mhm.
if you go to your doctor and your doctor's like, I need you to lose this weight, not just to look good,
For
for
your
your
health.
health
Yeah.
conditions. I think that's different than saying, oh, this guy or this girl's fat, so I'm not going to swipe right. There's a difference. And I think, we're at the point in our
But
lives.
that's also preference, right?
Yeah. And I think it's one of those things
Some
where,
people do like big people.
yeah,
Yeah.
physicians
My
and
cousin
whatnot,
loves big chicks.
yeah,
Loves them.
physicians and stuff will look at people and say, I can tell my patient so many times until they actually take the onus upon themselves to make the life change. Because if I go back to my doctor now, he'll be like, Nader, we've been having this conversation for the last 10 years.
Yep.
Right. So at what point are you going to take it? And I just say, like, kind of like Owen Hart, the great famous wrestler, rest in peace, had this famous saying, enough is enough, and it's time for a change. And I think using my grandfather's sort of death, it's like you don't think the person will pass away till they one day finally pass away.
Yeah.
So one day you tell everyone, I'm going to get in better shape, and everyone's like, okay, we've heard it before, but today's a new day. And I think maybe that's kind of the message, as a son of to the fathers out there who are listening here and who haven't done it, Quincy, as a sort of like a piece of advice to say, like, is it too late to start for them, or can they start right now?
It's never too late. Like you can do whatever you want. If you feel you want to get in shape tomorrow, you can start. Just find something that works for you, like a routine that works for you, and stick to it. It's all about the discipline. It's all about having discipline and having your goal in mind and working towards reaching that goal.
And Josh, to the fathers, to take that first step to break the malaise, that lethargy that people have built up for 18 months because they're like, oh, I don't want to leave, I don't want to do it, because they're just going down the spiral. What can they do to take that first step to just start something to build that foothold?
Like your first step could be anything. You just got to start. And like I said, just small victories, like something that's just going to keep you on track. Like it could be anything. It could just be literally like not eating something that you would normally eat.
So
You know what I
that's
mean?
a
Like
tangible example.
just something small, or just like just you know what I mean, saying no, or it's just one little thing that can spark your whole
maybe find something
transformation.
that can motivate you.
Yeah.
A motivating
Something that keeps you going
factor
back.
or whatever. Something, your kids. Maybe you want to look good for your wife.
Last
Yeah.
longer in
Something,
bed.
Yeah.
But
better sex life.
but I
or,
say this, you have to do it for yourself.
Yeah.
Don't do it for someone else.
Mhm.
Don't do it because someone's calling you a fat ass. Don't do it because your wife says you're not fitting into your this or whatever. Look at yourself and say, do I like what I see? And how can I change this? We're connected to the internet, man. We can find out ways to do anything.
There's a difference between someone telling you that you're fat or someone speaking to you about your weight
Yeah.
being a problem for your health.
Yeah.
There's a difference. Why you call me fat? You don't like me this way. It's not about liking the person at that point. It's about wanting to have that person with you for a longer period of time.
And that's actually a great point, and maybe sort of a closing thought we can end off on, like for each person to talk about. What about the support network to get you through? And I think for men, we have this notion of like supporting each other sometimes very differently. There are different types of men, but it can be a little bit harder. It's not always that sympathetic. It's more like, get off your ass and do this. And we want to push you to actually achieve your best self. And I think one of the things I've kind of learned, and I do appreciate these two gentlemen for, is never giving up. And I think having that support network is going to be crucial to your goal. Who can be your ally in this fight against your worst self? Because there's going to be bad and tough days ahead of you. There's going to be days where you don't want to do this, but who can you turn to? Who are you going to call, aka fat busters, right? Who are you going to call when you actually like want to quit on all that hard work? Because that's the biggest challenging thing. Like 3 weeks of bad eating can wipe out 3 months of hard work.
Most definitely.
And that is one of the
Not even
most
3 weeks, 1 week.
yeah, and that's actually one of the hardest things to
You're
acknowledge.
just wasting your own damn time.
Yeah, and we have limited time, and so that I think on that note, speak to them, tell them about how precious their time is and how much more they can get out of their time if they actually live a healthier lifestyle. Quincy.
Well, for one, you don't know when your time is going to be up,
Mhm.
but if you can just give yourself a better chance, find the right way to live, do the right things. You can be without sugar, you can be without,
I don't know about all of that.
well, at least you can control it, right?
You can reduce
You
it.
can reduce it, right? But
like okay, I don't believe in strict crazy diets because you'll go crazy, man. Like you have to indulge yourself at some times. Don't just think like you have to just go, I can't eat sugar anymore. I can't eat sugar. You're gonna go
Yeah.
crazy. You're gonna murder somebody. Like
but the thing is,
eat just have some type of self-control.
sugar, like there's many things out there that contain sugar.
Yes.
Right. So even though you're cutting back on sugar in terms of candy and stuff, you still have a sugar intake.
For sure.
There's salt, like salt in a lot of things that we ingest. So if you cut back on pouring that extra salt in your egg, it doesn't mean that you're not getting salt in your body, right? So just control what you eat. Control. Have a routine that will benefit you.
Routine, control, allow yourself little indulgences at the same time.
And do what's best for yourself. Don't try and be a hero. Don't go don't try to hit the gym, hit those hard weights, gonna go hard today, first date. No, ease your fucking self in because you're gonna hurt yourself. Then you can't do nothing. Then
Even malnutrition is also very dangerous, right?
You gotta eat properly.
That can kill you. That can kill you.
But like again, you were saying find what'd you say? Find a support system, whether it's a friend. If you have no friends, get a trainer, man.
Or find some friends. If you have no friends, make some friends.
Make some friends.
That's also true. Maybe you make some at the gym.
Have a social life.
Or the game.
The guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just you gotta find what works for you, and don't just think because it worked for me or him or that guy, it's gonna work for you. You gotta find
your own way.
what works for your body.
And specifically, what I think we're going to create out of having better men in better health is a redefinition of what the dad bod is. And I think that there are multiple styles of the dad bod. And if kids and people and families see like dads looking in their 30s and their 40s and their 50s at their peak best, that's the new dad bod.
Bro,
dad can be sexy.
I'm the healthiest I've been in my whole life. And I just turned 40.
Yeah. And you're sexy.
Fucking right I am.
And you know it. Well, those are our initial thoughts. Over the next little while, we'll also be sharing some videos and clips from ourselves working out, eating better. How do we eat and how can we improve our lifestyles? So we want to make this a lifestyle as part of, as Josh and Quincy said, of how we can actually change for the better, not 1, 2, or 6 months from now, but actually for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
So
have a snack. It's okay. It's not the end of the world.
Just don't have it every single day.
Just don't eat them every day. That's all.
So that's it.
Just be healthy.
Yeah.
Just be healthy.
So that's it for this session of the Debating Dads podcast.
Be mindful.
That's the man, Josh.
That's me.
That's the man, Quincy.
What up?
And as always, these dads have something to eat and say, and we'll see you very soon.